Hi everyone, welcome to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be tying the Christmas tree booby. Essentially it's a black lure, and it's probably a development from the black chenille black lure, then the Viva, and ultimately someone decided, in the original guise anyway, to add a pink hackle to it. What I've done is I've changed those and added pink cheeks of Globrite floss. So very simple fly to tie, and it's particularly pertinent at this time of year, since many of you would have started your fishing season off by visiting some of the reservoirs, and essentially black at the beginning of the season can be a good fish catcher. This one in particular, I've had one visit to Llyn Clywedog. He got me about 20 fish to the boat. I used it in combination with a tequila blob on the dropper. This was on the point. Fish followed the tequila blob purely because they'd previously been hooked, and on turning away they picked up the Christmas tree booby. And subsequently a couple of visits by a good friend, David Cartwright. Him and a few other colleagues have benefited from this fly as well. So if you want something black with a little bit of bling, this is the fly I'd suggest. So it's a very simple fly, and I'll just run through the dressing before I tie it. So hook is a size 10 Camsan B175 in this instance. Obviously you can use fulling mill heavyweight or barbless, that's entirely up to you. The tie-in silk is black in 70 denier or 6/0 if you prefer. The tail is Globrite number 11. You can use number 12 if you want, but I prefer the yellower shade of Chartreuse. The body is black straggle fritz. The cheeks are Globrite number 2, that's the fluorescent pink. The wing is black Marabou, and of course the eyes are black Ethafoam in around about 5mm. So as I say, it's a very simple fly, quick to grow, and it catches fish. So let's get that fly out of there. So once again, we've got the Camsan B175 size 10 in the vise, and all I do is start just behind the eye and create a bed of tie-in silk. Okay, just remove the waste there. And as with all my boobies, I tend to prepare them beforehand, and then tie the eyes in first. So 2 turns, a quick twist, and then figure of 8 just to secure those eyes. And one more, there we go. And then take your tie-in silk down towards the bend where we'll tie in the tail of Globrite number 11. So what I've done with this is I've taken several strands of Globrite off the spool, tied a little knot, don't know whether you can see it, yeah, tied a little knot in it, and then what I do is I use a toothbrush just to brush those fibres out so that they start to mix together. And all we do, nip her underneath, pull her into length. I don't mind a little bit of waste, but and then a couple of turns to secure it, and then snip that. There's a little bit of foam on there. Snip that as close to the booby eyes as you can. So tie that down and return your silk to the tail. Look. So because I like fishing competition style flies, what I need to do is ensure that it complies with the international rules, and just take off the waste. So next element is the black straggle. This one has become a little bit frayed, but we'll tie it in anyway. And once again, catch in the waist and tie that in all the way up to the booby eyes. Okay, and then just by winding we can form the body and make sure that any of those strands are pointing backwards. And what I generally do when I'm at the eyes, I take an extra turn of material to push these eyes forward. Okay, just lock that off with a couple of turns, remove the waist, and then we deal with the cheeks. So what we need to do with the cheeks is come under the one eye, or come under the one booby eye, over the hook eye, and then under the opposing eye. Okay, so what we've got left is two strands sticking out equally either side. Okay, and take a couple of turns. I like them around about the same size of the body, and I'll just trim those off, and a couple more turns just to secure them. And before tying on the wing, just push them outwards. Okay, and finally we get some black Marabou. About 3/4 of an inch. It doesn't need to be that big. Prep that, twist the end, cut it off, and if you've watched any of my other booby videos, you'll know I then tie the wing in between the eyes. So just rest it on the gap, one loose turn, two loose turns, okay, and make sure that that pink cheek isn't trapped under the wing. So there we go. Take another turn and one more, and then pull the eyes back and remove any waste that you can see. Okay, and then it's just a matter of figure of eighting that wing onto the fly, and then pull the eyes back, a couple of turns, and whip finish. And once again, a little bit staticky, that wing. Once again, just trim the wing to the size you want, and it's as simple as that, really. So like I say, there's a bit of history to the fly. It was probably a development of the Viva, but this Christmas tree in particular was probably one of the first mini boobies I ever saw, and that was late 80s, I suppose. I was fishing a match on Hanningfield, and I was partnered in the boat with Bill Rankin. Now I think Bill at the time was English international great matchman, and I wondered what he had actually on his line, purely because he kept catching fish, and he showed me his line and what he was using, and I suspect it was, well, for me anyway, it was the first time I'd seen the washing line in action. And Bill didn't have a black Christmas tree booby on the point. What he had was a white Christmas tree, and as it happens, I've got the white variation here, and you can see I've used like sort of a white and silver straggle for the body here, but that proved so effective on that day that Bill beat the pants off me. But I'm not too proud to say that it was a learning curve in the boat, and one I took to heart afterwards. So there we go. That is the Christmas tree booby. I'll just put the black one back in. I'll put the dressing in the comments, as well as you would have seen it in the video. And all I'd like to say is thanks for tuning in, and see you in the next one. Cheers then.